October 2008. Spooky season. We're on October right now. Let's just get to the books. I can't remember what I was doing with my life, except reading. Some good stuff? Maybe. The first book I read in October of 2008 was Water Witch by Deborah LeBlanc, or LeBlanc. And our main character is Dunny Pollock. And Dunny has an extra finger on her left hand, tries to keep it hidden, but gives her the ability to find things. Her sister convinces her to help the police when two children go missing, and someone has taken them to help, air quote. I'm trying to do air quotes without dropping my notebook. Help in a ritual that will awaken an ancient evil or give the guy power, something. And this is all down in Louisiana. And it's good stuff. I really like Deborah LeBlanc's stuff, and I'm pretty sure this was a leisure book, of course. So that's Water Witch, Deborah LeBlanc. Next up, we have The First Quarry by Max Allan Collins. This is a hard case crime book, and Quarry is a hitman, long-running series from Max Allan Collins. And before this, he wrote The Final Quarry, which was the last adventure of this hitman. And then he wrote, for the first time ever, we learn Quarry's first professional hit. And Quarry's a Vietnam veteran who's approached by this guy known as the Broker, I believe it is, and is given a job to go to this college campus. There's a professor sleeping with a student, and he's supposed to kill that professor and steal a manuscript that the professor's working on. There's a lot of other stuff going on, but really good stuff. I'm a huge fan of Max Allan Collins, and I like crime fiction where the main character is not necessarily a good person. And a hitman, not going to be a good person. And usually they end up going up against people even worse than they are. Some people might say, what's worse than a murderer? Well, there are things worse than that, in my opinion. So that's The First Quarry by Max Allan Collins. Next, we have Found You by Mary Sangiovanni. I do have this book, but it's a bit buried, so I did not dig it out to show it. This is the second book in the Hollower trilogy, and it takes place in Lake Haven, New Jersey, and the evil from the Hollower, from another dimension, from between dimensions, has returned to Lake Haven, New Jersey, and Dave and Eric must face it again before it destroys everything. It wants revenge. It's angry. And this is good stuff. It's good cosmic horror. I don't think I've read the third book yet. I have it, and I think I might just read through all three at some point. Just read the entire thing in one go. But Found You by Mary Sangiovanni. Next up, we have Gun Monkeys by Victor Gischler, and nominated for the Edgar Award for Best First Novel. And let's go with back cover copy. Shoot first, explain later. Charlie Swift just pumped 3 .38 caliber bullets into a dead polar bear in his taxidermist girlfriend's garage. But he's a gun monkey, and no one can blame him for having an itchy trigger finger. Ever since he drove down the Florida Turnpike with a headless body in the trunk of a Chrysler, then took down 4 cops, Charlie's been running hard through the sprawling sleaze of Central Florida. And to make matters worse, he's holding on to some crooked paperwork that a lot of people would like to take off his hands. Now, with his boss disappeared and his friends dropping like flies, Charlie has got his work cut out just to survive. If he wants to keep the money and get the girl too, he's really going to have to go ape. And then it says, As I said, nominated for Edgar Award for Best First Novel, Gun Monkey is a fast, furious collage of wit and wise guys, violence and thrills, and a full throttle run through the dark side of the Sunshine State. Big fan of Victor Gischler. He's one of those authors I discovered because he wrote some comic books and writes crime stuff and has written fantasy and comedy horror, and just all sorts of stuff. And this was recently made into a movie. I made sure I got a non-movie cover copy. Gun Monkeys. It's good stuff. The penultimate book that I read in October of 2008 is The Preserve by Patrick Lestuca. Now, most people might know him by the name Nick Cutter. And I can't remember his other name, his real name, I think. But it's got a lot of pseudonyms. But this, before I had ever heard of Nick Cutter or any of the other pseudonyms, I'm going to say Craig Davidson for some reason. I just knew Patrick Lestuca and The Preserve. And there's 5 Vietnam vets. It's after the war. I forget how long after the war. And they receive a letter and $50,000 asking them to come and hunt down these 3 escaped convicts up in northern Canada, a place called The Preserve. What they don't know. Spoilers? I don't know. It's a monster preserve. So it's not going to be as easy as they thought. Loved this book. A lot of great action, great monster action. Soldiers versus monsters. Good stuff. The Preserve, Patrick Lestuca. And then finally, the last book that I read in October of 2008 was Host by Brian Etchison. Not sure if that's how you pronounce his name. And for this one, I'm actually going to read it off the computer screen. Because it's just crazy. So this is what it says on Amazon. Life for package delivery worker Whips changes forever the night he handles a box of thawing pig remains. By morning, he is host to a virulent new parasite, one that releases mind-altering secretions as it wreaks massive internal damage. As Whip's existence becomes more and more surreal, a college professor pieces together the connection between a missing student and a trailer of mutilated swine. Her search takes her to a valley of toxic industry where she stumbles upon a nightmare of unregulated waste, clandestine animal research, and a depraved drug lord. And all the while, Whip's stowaway is developing, preparing for the stage when it will bring back reality with exponentially increasing pain. So, craziness. I do not remember anything about that book, which is why I went ahead and just read that off of Amazon. But great cover on the limited edition that they have showing on Amazon. But it sounds wild. But I couldn't tell you if it was or not because I don't remember. That's it. That's everything I read in October of 2008. Question for the video. Do you like anti-heroes? I'm not even going to say anti-heroes. Do you like crime? Do you like reading about criminals? I mean, it's relatively popular. And again, it's usually, if you go with like Ocean's 11 in that series, you know, they're charming. They're stealing from casinos, which are, you know, the people that own the casinos are worse than our heroes, main characters. But then you get into things like the Parker books. Parker is a thief and a cold-blooded killer. And then, again, Quarry is a hitman. And Max Allan Collins has a couple other series with other types of criminals as the main characters. And I enjoy these. I have all of the Parker books right over there in a beautiful set. And I've read a number of the Quarry books and some of the other Max Allan Collins with bad guys as the main characters. Bernie Rodenbar whatever the name is are lighthearted books about a thief. Those are oh, I don't remember the author of those. It's on the tip of my brain, but I don't recall. Lawrence Block. I think those are Lawrence Block books. So I very much enjoy a well-written, interesting book with a bad guy as the main character. As long as they're not like some Nazi scum or a pedophile or a rapist or something like that. I can, not that I would condone professional thieving or being a hitman, but fictionally can be very entertaining. And even the Saint series. The Saint was like a gentleman thief. At least the Saint that I'm familiar with. But what about you? Do you enjoy reading that sort of thing? I know it's not a horror question, but let me know in the comments below. If you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here on my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe, all the usual YouTube stuff. If you care to follow me on other social media, I'll have links for my Instagram and Blue Sky in the description below. And that's all I have for you this week. So until next week, read more books.